This is the 2024 Honda Pilot EXL. Is it the best mid-size three-row SUV? Today I'm at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana to give you the information to help answer that question. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary and I hope you're having a great day. The base price on these Pilots is $42,400. The EXL trim level of the 6 available trim levels is third in line, so 1, 2, 3, third from the bottom. And the exterior color on this model is obsidian blue. And good news for those of you who are not fans of black interior. You have gray interior here, so a little something different for those who wish to have that. So let's talk about the features here. First of all, this is a front-wheel drive or two-wheel drive Pilot. Two-wheel drive will always be front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is available across all trim levels of the Pilot unless you go Elite or Trail Sport. Then it's standard all-wheel drive. As far as your lighting goes, and we'll get into the shadow area, shadow kind of darker area right here, LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. We'll also find the heated, power adjustable side view mirrors with turn signal indicators built in. They are manually folding and they have blind spot monitoring built in. That's going to be right here, or the blind spot information system. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about safety features that come with Honda sensing for your driving aids, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, and traffic jam assist. And I'm going to turn around this way so we have the sun to help show you the remote. And the main thing that people want to know about these remotes is, does it have remote start? Yes, it does. And that's always a good thing for a multitude of reasons. It's also a proximity key. You have the walk-away feature. All of those great features are going to be here. And how about our tire and wheel size for those who may wish to know? You ever see those numbers on the side of the tire? Here's what they mean. 255 will be the width. You're going to have a 60 series sidewall, and then that's wrapped around an 18-inch wheel. And those numbers go in that order when you see them on the side of the tire, and that's what they stand for. If you want to tow with your Pilot, we're looking at a couple of different numbers. If you go with the two-wheel drive or front-wheel drive version, 3,500 pounds. If you go with all-wheel drive, that number jumps up to 5,000 pounds. Motivation to get this Pilot down the road comes from the dual overhead cam Honda V6. It makes 285 horsepower, 262 pounds-feet of torque, and it's mated to a specifically tuned for the Pilot 10-speed automatic transmission. How about your MPGs? Well, let's walk over here and take a look on the window sticker. 19 city, 27 highway, 22 combined, 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And for those who might be curious how large the gas tank is, it's 18.5 gallons. And while you don't have the hands-free feature as far as being able to kick your foot underneath the rear of the bumper right there and have this tailgate open, it's still power. So to a degree, I guess you could call it hands-free. There are multiple ways to open that. You can also change the height of the tailgate by simply moving it back and forth to wherever you want it to be. And when you get it to where you want it to be, you'll hold down the button right here and you listen for the beeps. Once you hear those beeps, then it's set. Very easy to deal with, very easy to reset the height. And we'll take a quick look underneath here. Something very important, a spare tire. And you also have space underneath the floor. Let's see if I can show you this. This floor, by the way, you can take it out and actually turn it over. So you have the side that has plastic, or you have the side that has carpet, which is covered up right now by the cargo mat back here. But what we're looking at is 18.6 to 86.5 to 87 cubic feet. And obviously this area is configurable. And one thing I always like to make sure that I tell you about, if you own one of these Pilots, I want you to notice something here. Notice you have the Velcro strap here, and then right down there, you have that piece of Velcro right there. So let's drop this down. Make sure that you take your time and latch that onto the Velcro, or Velcro it onto the area right there. Because what can potentially happen is, and it didn't go as far up as it can, but still, you have to reach pretty far to reach that, and sometimes they can even go down there like that. It's a whole lot easier when it's right here to reach there and grab that and pull the seat back up into place. And if you want to maximize your cargo capacity, here is how everything will look. Now, when you step up in trim level, there will be one difference that you'll find, and that is the fact that you can remove the middle seat right there in that middle row of seats. That's the only one that comes out when that happens. Now, that doesn't happen here on the EXL trim level, but just something to think about in case you want to know about all of the different configurability options from one trim level to the next. And a couple more things I do want to tell you about that I don't want to forget to tell you. 12-volt power outlet right here. And let me put the headrest in place. You can see by the way I have the seats set up right now that these third row seats do recline. And we'll take a look into the rear passenger area, starting with the door panel right here. Let's see how comfortable that armrest is. Put my arm up there. Well, that feels pretty comfortable. I think that will do the job. It's definitely not hard as a rock, that's for sure. Upper and lower door bins, and you'll have, speaking of what I said earlier about configurability, well, you can see some of the configurability here. Depending on where the front seats are positioned, I guess would partially depend on where middle seat passengers might set up their seats, because they can increase leg space for third row passengers. And gaining access to that third row is very easy by simply pushing the button right here. That seat gets up and out of the way. You might have to push it just a little bit. But here's what's going to happen. Let's hop in, and I'm going to pull this seat all the way back. That's actually not too bad as far as leg space goes. Now, I do have to move my foot over just a little bit to be comfortable, but not too bad. And you can help that situation, your rear seat passengers can at least, by reclining the seats, the seat backs. And so let's hop over here onto the driver's side of the vehicle and see, look at all that leg room. So the potentials are pretty good where that is concerned. And we'll see that everybody has lighting. And then we'll also look over here and see air conditioning vents. Obviously both sides will have all of this, so an air conditioning vent and a USB option, as well as a couple of different cup holders. And one more thing before I hop out of the back seat, let's make it easier to hop out of the back seat. Just as when I push that button on the side of the seats, rear seat passengers can do the same thing from right here, and the seat again moves right up and out of the way. And a couple more details about the middle row seat area. Obviously the privacy shades are here to help out. You also have the rear privacy glass, so that works pretty well. And the latch system, and I like the fact that it's just exposed as it is on the seats here on both sides, so parents can put in the child safety seats. The good thing is that there's nothing to remove out of the way and nothing that comes off that you have to keep up with. That makes life a little easier. And then rear seat pockets here, not only right here, but also this area that I'm assuming is for the cell phone. There's probably a lot of different things that could fit in there. And then the control center here on the rear of the center console. Rear air conditioning vents, everything here to control the third zone of climate control. We have 2 zones in the front and single zone here in the rear. Can control everything from fan speed to temperature. And then a couple of USB options down there as well. Now this model does not come with a sunroof, but if you do have a sunroof with your Pilot, you'll find that it is a panoramic sunroof, which seems to be the more popular option than the traditional size, smaller sunroof. And while we still have quite a bit left to look at, for those who are saying, okay, Tom, tell us what the price is on this Honda Pilot EXL for 2024. Well, here at Holmes Honda, $43,775. And we'll take a look at what we have with the door panel here with the passenger side front door. Again, the comfortable armrest, your upper and lower door bins, cup holders right there. And as we look inside, power seats for the driver and the passenger. Both are heated, and quite a bit of well-used available space, including this area right here. The cell phones can go up there, or whatever else anybody can get to fit in that area. And the glove box is down here. You can see that that's dampened. It takes a little time. You have to be patient for it to open. And then right here, more connectivity options, 2 USB options, and the 12-volt power outlet. And here on the EXL trim level, yes, you do have wireless charging, if you're wondering about that. The push button shifter is here, as well as your drive mode selector. You have your brake hold mode, power parking brake, hill start assist, and the auto stop or auto stop start feature that you can turn off, which is always a good thing. And your cup holders right there. And as far as the positioning of the center console and the lid that is doubling as an armrest, well, if I really wanted to be comfortable, I could lower the height of the seat, and I believe that would be in the perfect place. And we also have some additional space within the center console. Quite a bit going on there. I'll also show you what's here on the upper console, just in case you're wondering. And last but not least, in this area, there is a conversation mirror. I can have a conversation with you right now while I film, but I won't do that for too long. And that doubles. It's a multitasker. It doubles as a sunglass holder. And here on the driver's side door, likely everything you expect to see. Controls for all 4 windows. You can adjust your power adjustable side view mirrors. Obviously, the same door bins that we saw on the passenger side, but something we didn't see on the passenger side. In fact, it might be a little bit of a surprise here on the EXL trim level. Seat memory, 2 different settings, in fact. And then here is another one of the multiple options for opening and closing that power tailgate back there. You can turn your traction control on or off right there. This lever allows you to adjust when you drop it down, to adjust the positioning of the steering wheel as it is tilt and telescopically adjustable. And here is the digital instrument cluster. And you still have analog gauges here, so also that digital speedometer in the middle. Now, what I'm doing, as you see on the left-hand side, there are some changes taking place. I'm pushing the home button right here, and then I'll use this scroll wheel right here to actually work my way back and forth through the different features, the different information that is there. And because I had somebody ask one time about this, I figure I'll go ahead and put it out there. It's only been asked one time, but other people may wonder, can you get rid of that digital speedometer there in the middle of the instrument cluster? No, you can't. So if that's something you don't like, well, sorry, but it is there. But not a big deal, not really going to hurt anything. And here's where you're going to control the headlights and the fog lights, all the lights on the exterior of the vehicle, and also the front and rear window wipers. You also have paddle shifters for working your way back and forth through the 10-speed automatic transmission, depending on what driving mode you're in. That could be useful. And there are a couple of different available screens here. As far as your infotainment or center screen, you have the 7-inch, or in this case, we have the 9-inch. And this one looks, I think, a little more modern. It's no more complicated to learn or use than the 7-inch, but you do have the ability here for wireless connectivity for your phone and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. So that's always a good thing. Cabin Talk is here. You can have all kinds of fun with that. And you also can see your vehicle settings right here. Very easy to locate what it is you need. Just look for the graphics more than anything else. So if you're having any trouble with your power tailgate, that's the first place you need to go, because it may be turned off. Power open by outer handle. If you go back there and it doesn't open, well, come here and select right there, and it most likely will be set to off. Just one of those little things, a simple little fix for something that I know some of you might ask about. A very simple system to use and learn. The hunt and peck method will definitely do the job for you. No problem where that is concerned. And you do have the multi-view rear view camera. Now, this is the only camera view on the vehicle, or the only camera I should say. It has 3 different views. And if you're saying, man, I really want more cameras, well, you'll have to step up to either the Elite or the Trail Sport, and you'll actually have a button right here on the lever for controlling the front and rear window wipers, and you push that and all your different camera views will come up. There's an overhead view. All of that's there. Quite a bit on the Trail Sport. You even have a trail cam and a front camera washer. So quite a few different features. I do have videos on the Trail Sport and the Elite here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. and you can obviously find those very easily. And you can tell that it's cooled down a little bit here in Northwest Louisiana. It's starting to warm up a little bit now, but finally needing some heat. And I also have the heated driver's seat on. 3 different settings where that's concerned. I think I'm going to stick with the lowest setting for now because it's cooling or warming up nicely. A very simplistic interior, that's for sure. Tell me what you think about this. Maybe this is the first time you've seen what came out as the 2023 Pilot, passing over here into 2024. There's no changes for 2024 in case you're wondering, but what do you think about what you might be seeing? Some of you might be seeing this for the very first time. And real quick, before we get out on the road for our test drive, a couple of things I want to make sure you know about that you may not hear. Okay, so you'll notice that I put the Pilot in drive. If you open the driver's side door, it's automatically going to go into park. The same thing will happen. It'll automatically go into park if you turn the engine off with the button right here. Also, how about our driving mode? Your drive mode selector is right here. Let's see what the driving modes are. We have normal, and you're going to have the graphics that correspond with that over there on the left-hand side. Econ, snow, tow mode. And last but not least, up here, we're going to have sport mode. All right, we're going to get out on the road for our test drive. And while this model doesn't have a sunroof, that's the only downside where that's concerned, is that, well, I can't give you a better view than what I am. So I apologize that I had to stick you in the windshield. But we can still talk about what it's like to drive this Pilot. For my experience, I think the Pilot has a nice, comfortable, compliant ride quality. Seems to handle bumps quite well. I feel like it would be a good vehicle for a nice long road trip, but one thing about that I'm curious to know is for those of you who maybe own a Honda Pilot, what do you think? Do you think it's comfortable for a long period of time to sit in? It sure seems that way to me, but that's one thing about these test drives is, well, they're just a few minutes. So I don't have that long-term experience that you owners might have. So share that information down in the comments section, especially if you've been on maybe a multi-hour road trip or something to that tune. It is an easy vehicle to maneuver around. It seems to have a nice turning radius. I mean, it's not as tight as a smaller vehicle would be, but not bad for a mid-sized SUV. And as far as getting up to speed, I'm not flooring it to do that. I don't feel like I really need to. There seems to be enough power and torque here to where I can just ease into the pedal and easily get up to highway speed without any major issues. But I do feel like there's enough horsepower if you were in the situation where, and hopefully this is what you do when you're driving, getting up to speed to merge into fast-moving traffic on an interstate or wherever the speed limit may be 55, 60, even more than that where you're driving, you're not going to have any trouble getting to that speed. So that's a good thing. Easy to see out of, but what helps to make that even easier is obviously the fact that you have your blind spot monitoring built into the side view mirrors or the blind spot information system. And so that really takes care of a lot right there. But pretty easy to see out of no matter what the case is. Obviously you can adjust the seats here in the front seat area to be comfortable. The driver can adjust the steering wheel. And the technology here, as I mentioned earlier, is very easy to learn and very easy to use. I really feel like you could hunt and peck your way through this infotainment system and figure it out. I can't say that about every single vehicle out there. Some are not necessarily complicated, but this seems to have an easier layout to deal with than some of the others out there that I've dealt with. Overall, an enjoyable vehicle to drive. Tell me what your thoughts are if you own the 2023 or 2024 Pilots overall in your driving experience. The 2024 Honda Pilot definitely has a lot to offer, but does that mean that it's the best mid-size 3-row SUV? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. And don't forget, if you want to come in and buy this exact model or something else they have here at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana, check out the link down in the description of the video. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at the dealership for loaning me this Pilot for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.